Hi guys, it's me Mike back again with another review. Now today I am going to review the latest album from one of my favorite rappers, hip hop artists of all time, and one of the greatest, if not the greatest rappers of all time. This is Jay-Z's 13th studio album, 444. Release June 30th, exclusively on Tidal, and released on CD just this past Friday, and also on streaming services such as iTunes, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. Now, this album was entirely produced by a legendary Chicago hip hop producer, No ID. No ID is known for working with artists such as Common. He worked on his uh, uh, first few albums, and he was uh, an early mentor to Kanye West. Now, let me start off by saying that I thought that this album was incredible. Uh, I thought that this was one of Jay-Z's best work, his best work since um, American Gangster. And I know it may seem too early, but I feel that I would put this in in his in the top five of his best albums, and uh, my top five favorite Jay-Z albums, uh, at least. Yeah, let's get into the album. Um, Track one is "Kill Jay-Z," and on this track we have Jay-Z basically killing off his ego. You know, this is Sean Carter killing off the Jay-Z ego and persona, and he talks about some things that he's done in his past, like his drug dealing past, to how he once shot his older brother when he was 13, and he makes some references to Kanye West and his rant that he made about him um, just uh, a few months ago, almost a year ago, and this is the first time that he makes a reference to his um, alleged infidelity that was hinted on last year in Beyonce's album uh, 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 Lemonade. Excuse me. I thought that was um, a great track. Track two is the story of OJ, probably my favorite track on the album. And on this track, we have Jay-Z talking about um, the the state of African Americans right now, when he talks about how no matter your skin complexion, status, or anything, to some people you're just another nigga or whatever, and the title comes from O.J. Simpson, the famous football player, because at one point in his career he had gotten to a point where he felt that he was above his race, and then of course after the 1995 trial he was treated as like just another a black person. The way a lot of uh, us um, are treated uh, in uh, so he also shares some uh, he also shares some uh, financial advice on how, like, instead of wasting money on dumb things that won't serve any purpose. You should instead use that money to um, invest in things such as property, art, and the stuff that's going to benefit you and your family in the future. Track 3 is Smile, and on this song, he mainly talks about his mother, and he um, announces that his mother is a lesbian, and talks about how for a long time she had to hide it for it because she was in fear of how she would be treated. So at the end she gives she recites a poem about living in the shadows, and how you should be free and love who you love, because life is too short and everything. And so I thought this song had a really great message. Um, Track 4 is Caught Their Eyes, featuring Frank Ocean. And on this song, Jay-Z talks about basically how he can read people, and how he's always watching out for shady people. And on one line in the song, he talks about Prince and his estate. Prince was one of the first artists to like sign to Tidal, because in the past he had shared his distaste over other streaming services such as YouTube and Spotify, and he had taken all of his music off of there because uh, he felt like he wasn't getting paid, and he and a lot of other artists felt that it wasn't fair that people were able to just get the music free. And so he talks about how he and Prince sat down before he died and talked about his plans for his music in the future. And he says that he is disappointed on how Prince's estate handled everything, because his music is now on Spotify and other music services now. And he felt that they were greedy for opening Prince's home, Paisley Park, to the public, and letting people uh, go on tours in there. Um, so yeah, I thought that was also a really good track. Uh, Next one, number 5, is the title track and the centerpiece of the album 444. And on this one, Jay-Z bears his soul. He's like a very vulnerable on this track. He basically apologizes to Beyonce for his um, infidelity, and to probably to like a lot of the other women that he's hurt in the past, and he also talks about uh, one of his biggest fears is if his kids ever found out about what he did when they grow up. So yeah, I thought this was a really strong track and one of his best and most uh, one of his best and most personal of his career. Uh, Track 6 is Family Feud and on this song he featuring Beyonce on this song he talks about like how he feels that the the rap he feels that the rap community and the black uh, community that he feels that they're in a family feud and that how we should be uh, how we should be supporting black owned businesses and he talks about like the also the state of hip hop today and how people like judge rappers for like wearing like uh, outlandish clothes and he has a line about how people judge rappers for wearing nose rings and everything, but he reminds people that Tupac once had a nose ring too. So yeah, that uh, that was a great track, and uh, the next track is Bam featuring Damian Marley, and on this song, you know, for like the most of the album, this was Jay-Z as himself as just Sean Carter being at his most um, um, introspective and personal. And so on this track, he's basically saying that sometimes you need your ego, and this is where a Hove gets out, and he's just uh, um, raps as Jay Z, and this is more braggadocious Jay Z that we know, a really great track. Um, Next track is Moonlight, and and in the song samples the Fuji Laws with the la 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 sample, and it's meant to be like a play on like you know, back in at the Oscars a few months ago, the uh, La La Land uh, uh, mistakenly won for Best Picture, and then a few moments later, it was announced that it was a mistake, and the movie Moonlight actually won, and so the title is like a reference to that, and the chorus Jay-Z says, "We're stuck in La La Land, even when we gonna lose," and I feel that he's like talking about the he's talking about the he's talking about hip hop and and the black uh, uh, community uh, too as a whole, and he on here he talks about his disappointment with hip hop today. He feels that like um, a lot of rappers they're un original. They have the same flows. They wear the same clothes, and he says that he doesn't know who is who, and he like tells them that they shouldn't uh, keep signing bad deals without reading contracts and everything. And and then the track 9 is Marcy Me, and on this song is an ode to the home that to the place where he grew up, Brooklyn, in the Marcy projects, and he shares his memories about growing up during the uh, mid to late 80s and early 90s. So I thought that this was a great, a nostalgic song for him. And on the last track is Legacy, and on this one, it opens up with his it opens up with his daughter, Blue Ivy, asking him what's a will, and in the song he explain he talks about one of the biggest themes of the album that he's been building up. He talks about a generational wealth, uh, and says that when he was growing up, his parents, they didn't have anything, and they didn't really have anything when they were growing up, and so all the wealth started with him, and so since he's become this huge rapper and businessman, and he's built this large amount of wealth, he now has something that he can pass down from generation to generation. He talks about how he's gonna give a piece of his share his wealth with all of his family, give all of his companies and stuff to his wife Beyonce and kids, so that they can carry on uh, uh, his legacy, and share all the wealth with all the next generations of his family. I thought that this was a really great track, and yeah, and also if you have the CD version, there are three bonus tracks. One of the bonus tracks is Adness. Now, what Adness, that was that was the Adness is a song about Jay Z's father, and his relationship with him. Now, Adness, this was actually the song that was used in the early promos for this album, for the early advertisements, and when the album came out, a lot of people were shocked that it wasn't on there, and Jay Z's engineer Young Guru made a tweet saying that it would be featured on the physical copies, and so it was, and so and then there's two other bonus tracks, Blues Freestyle, which features his daughter Blue Ivy freestyling, and the third track is uh, uh, Many Face God. I haven't listened to the CD yet, and so I'm gonna have to listen to those songs, and I'll probably give my review of the bonus tracks at some point. But so yeah, overall, like I said, I thought that this was a great album. This was like a return to form for Jay, his best album since American Gangster. Uh, a top 5 album for me, and I'd also like to give my top five songs. My favorite song, like I said, is The Story of OJ. I love the story that he told on there and the ideas that he shared, and I especially love the video. Um, Second favorite would probably be 444 because I loved how open and honest that he was on this track about his relationship with Beyonce. Uh, Third favorite track would probably be Bam featuring Damian Marley. I love the sample that he used, Sister Nancy's uh, Bam Bam. You know, you probably recognize it. That's the same sample that Kanye West used on his song "Famous" for the Life of Pablo. Yeah, I thought this was a really great song. Great the energy and flow and lyrics from Hove. Uh, my fourth favorite track would probably be will probably be Kill Jay Z, a great opening track and a great concept. Fifth favorite track would probably be Moonlight. I love that Fuji sample that they used, and I like the track everything about it overall. So yeah in conclusion, like I said, uh, great, a fantastic album. You know, if you're a Jay Z fan, a fan of hip hop, you should definitely pick this up. If you have iTunes, or you should get the CD if you still buy CDs. You know, this is worth owning. This is worth having, and in your CD collection. And so yeah, that is my review. Remember to like and subscribe to this video. Um, and also in the comments, let me know how you felt. Let me know how you felt about this album. Do you think it's one of Jay Z's best? And let me know which albums that you'd also like me to do in the future. And thanks for watching.